Good evening, Tiger Nation, and welcome to Sturgis Physical Education Center on the campus of Ouachita Baptist University. Tonight, the Ouachita Tigers host the Reddies of Henderson State, who have made the long trek from across the street for some GAC volleyball action. I'm Matthew Branch alongside former Ouachita volleyball head coach Danny Prescott, and we are getting ready to bring you the Battle of the Ravine Volleyball Edition here on the Ouachita Sports Digital Network. Ouachita and Henderson both enter tonight's matchup with a record of 1-2 in GAC play, and that makes them in a three-way tie for third. It's a little bit different this year in the GAC with a full conference schedule this time instead of no non-conference, and I'm sure that plays a hand in getting ready, and you've seen some struggles with both of these teams so far.
Well, given just the general nature of volleyball, when you're having these random days off and just the whole COVID-19 experience that we're all living, it factors in huge to how much they get to gel and how much playing time they really get. And you can practice all you want to, but until you play against somebody else, you really don't know what your kids are capable of doing. So the unique thing about the spring is you're only playing your half of the division. So they're playing each other multiple times, and hopefully with what happened with the weather here in Arkansas last week and in Texas, things will level off for everybody a little bit, and we'll just get to sit back and enjoy some volleyball tonight.
That's right. Last week the game was supposed to be against Harding, and it ended up getting postponed. That'll be made up on Thursday, so it'll be a quick turnaround for the Tigers after tonight. But we're looking for some good volleyball tonight. They're in a three-way tie for third, up at the top of the GAC East right now because it is divided into two divisions, East and West, just to limit travel. It's Arkansas Tech and Harding at 3-0 apiece, both ranked in the top 20 in the nation right now, according to the AVCA. And then you've got UAM, Henderson, and Ouachita all at 1-2. And you've got SAU at 0-3. And Ouachita and Henderson both picked up their lone wins of the season
That's
against
because
SAU.
Division II student athletes
And also share another common
of their
opponent. They
surrounding
both already played
communities.
Tech
Through
and
community
lost.
engagement,
Ouachita
thousands of
lost
student athletes from
three
various
straight against
backgrounds
Tech to
interact
start
with
the season
community
here
members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even
Arkansas Tech's
life-changing
traditionally
impression on
a
all those involved.
pretty dominant
In
program.
Division II,
they've had a
we
couple of
rise
down
to the
years, but
opportunity,
they
and
rebuild
community
quickly and they
engagement,
rebound quickly.
ours.
But
I've heard people say
they're a pretty young team as far as scoring experience, so it's exciting to see what they're going to do. And based on Henderson's roster, they're also a pretty young team as well. So it'll be interesting to see which kids step up tonight.
Sorry, looking for their Coach Frizz has decided to change some stuff around tonight. Usually running a 6-2 setup is changed to a 5-1. Gets another setter in to see a new change. Trying to kind of jumpstart the offense. So getting ready to announce the starters tonight. Try to hear from Director of Athletics Communications, Thomas Donnelly, who he says. From up here, it's kind of hard to tell. It's just more of a mumble for Henderson, so we will see whenever they get out on the court.
It's pretty easy to pick it up as soon as they step out there. They're spaced out enough.
That's right. Looks like that was Juliana Mack, Shannon Hogan, Kellen Church, number 13, Carly Ferguson, E.J. Day, Emily Lowe, and Lexi Castello as the libero. Tonight we'll take a quick pause for the national anthem. And with that, we are about to get started here. Set number 1 in Battle of the Ravine Volleyball Edition. First meeting between the two teams this season. So they've got the side over here, or the game here at Ouachita tonight, and then the last game of the season on March 30th will be across the street at Henderson. Ouachita looking to pick up their first home win of the season. Like I said, first, they haven't played here since January 26th, which was a loss against Arkansas Tech in 3 straight sets. And getting everybody set here on the court. Looks like Henderson will be serving first. That is Abby Blackburn, a senior out of Leawood, Kansas, back to serve for the Reddies. Received by Hogan. That'll be a point for Ouachita off the block out of bounds, and that was, I believe, E.J. Day, a freshman there.
Yeah, she's going to be a really good player as she progresses. Biggest thing with being a freshman is just got to play through those mistakes and not let it become a mental thing for you.
That's the thing. We've seen some miscues there in the first game of the season. We've seen it in some of the other few games like they've played. They've started to come together, but that's something I believe you'd see with a bunch of freshmen playing on a team.
Absolutely, and it takes time. And like we said, it's been such a unique year that they're just learning to play with each other in games.
They seem to it's like point there goes to Henderson. Could not quite see what that call was.
I think he called a net violation, but I'm not positive because of the angle we're sitting at.
Gotcha. So it'll be 1-1 now. Serving that time was Maddie Fairchild. You just saw Lexi Caslow get another dig. She's actually leading the GAC in digs so far this season. Looks like just a bit too much on that one. Give a point to Henderson. They'll take a 2-1 lead.
And it's probably going to take OBU a few minutes to get into this real flow. I know it doesn't seem like a big deal, but when you switch from a 6-2 to a 5-1, it takes you just a little while to get used to somebody different playing next to you.
That's right. That one was received by Day. We were talking about changing to a 5-1. Coach Frizz was hoping to play a non-conference game against, I believe, Texas A&M, Texarkana, or Commerce to try it out. And E.J. Day's attack goes a little bit long there, and it'll be another point for Henderson. But unfortunately, due to weather, and I mean, we can still see snow through one of the windows here. It's not typical Arkansas weather. Did not get a chance to play that non-conference game to try it out. Looks like that one might have just hit.
It did. It hit Lexi in the shoulder.
Should be a 4-1. It looks like the miscue on the scoreboard. Yep, 4-1. There we go. Service error there for Henderson. That was Maddie Fairchild again. Looks like that's Day back to serve now for Ouachita. One thing you don't see from Ouachita much is you don't see a bunch of service aces so far this season. They've only had 12 so far, and that puts them 10th in the GAC. He just gets the line there. Another point for Henderson. One thing we saw in the first game, or first match against Tech, Ouachita would find themselves in like a roughly 5-point hole, and they would keep it at that 5 points, maybe cut it to 3, or it might extend up to 7 or 8, but they could never get over that hump they would find themselves in at the start. And I don't know if that's something they've continued to struggle with or not, but we don't want to see them get too far down to start.
No, and I watched the UAM game last week, and I guess it was 2 weeks ago now, but they had that issue where they would have a mini run, cut into the lead, and then let them build back up 3 or 4. And it's just, again, it's a matter of finding flow and getting rhythm. The biggest thing in volleyball is it's such a mental game that you just have to truly play with that mindset of I'm going to play the next point. What happened last point? If I did something great or did something bad, it doesn't matter. It's because the next one's so fast.
Gotcha. Like I said, hopefully they can get that tonight and cut into this, well, now a 5-point deficit they found themselves in. Looks like Ouachita will take their first timeout. And we will stay here while Ouachita takes their first timeout. So you were, like we mentioned at the start, you were a former Ouachita coach here.
Yes,
so how long did you coach here?
I was here, I believe, 14 years. It may have been 15 years. But I was a graduate assistant and also a student assistant. So it was a total of almost 21 years.
Okay, gotcha. And you were telling me that you actually coached the current coach, Coach
yes,
Frizz.
I coached Frizz all 4 years, and she was an all-conference libero. I can't tell you how many different times I heard this from coaches. Josh Collins, who's at Southwestern Oklahoma State, he made the comment that he told his players, like, if you hit any ball at her, you're out. Now, it's kind of a joke, but that's how she could change a game. And you see a lot of how Lexi plays, very similar to that. I did it when I coached, and Frizz is doing it right now. We play our libero at middle back. Most teams are playing them at left back now, but we're still under the mindset that when you get one that can really read the court like Lexi does, give her the freedom to read. And you mentioned that she's leading conference in digs, and part of that reason is because she does read the court so well.
Getting back in here out of the timeout. Henderson leading 7-2 over the Tigers here in set 1. Another good reception there by Day. See, Fielder has checked back in, and she'll get a kill right out of the timeout. We've seen Fielder struggle a little bit so far. She didn't start tonight like she had started in the past, so maybe that kind of motivated her, and hopefully we can see her continue.
Well, I've known Riley since she was in junior high, and known the family for years, and she's a kid that she works as hard or harder than any player I've ever coached, and she gets down on herself. So it's one of those things where when she plays up, she does great, but she really does. She just got to be one of those kids, like, and we talked about a minute ago, the next moment, she make a mistake, who cares, go to the next one.
That's one thing about volleyball is there's not a lot of time between, like you said, between points. It's just right at one after another. It's one of the faster-paced sports that I've got to cover. A good dig there by Caslow. They're going to say that one went out of bounds, too far out. 6-point lead now for Henderson. We just saw Kellen Church there set up that attack. Go out. The point for Henderson. From where I was, there was a wall there. I guess it hit
it didn't hit in. It touched our right side blocker's hand,
Gotcha.
And they called a touch.
Okay, gotcha.
I wasn't sure if it was, but our line judge over there, she called it, and it was the correct call.
Gotcha. So it is number 21, Taylor Scoutsley, a junior out of Flower Mound, Texas, serving for Henderson. Fielder gets or receives that one. Another one off the hands of the blocker there. Tigers going to have to put something together quickly.
Yes.
They won't have to cut back into this one.
And you just have to take that mindset of, like, let's just get the next point. And then try to get 2 to their 1, and you get a close game by the time you're 20. But that's a lot easier said than done.
Definitely. There we go. There's a point.
And a big thing that you saw in that play, we had a great serve receive, and that allows the offense to be in system, and you can use all 3 hitters that way, and now the setter's front row. So this is when the impact of the 5-1 really factors in, because you've got your setter blocking, but she's long and she seems to jump well, so see how she does.
Gotcha. There we go. And another point for the Tigers. Now a 6-point set.
And I'm pretty sure, I may be wrong, but I think volleyball is the only sport that you either get punished or rewarded every time the whistle blows. I don't think there's any other sport that you get a point or lose a point every play.
It's a good block there by, that's going to be Ferguson and Church. Put that one right back into the court. It's a good job there by the front court. Kellen Church, a freshman out of Jonesboro, has really come in and is doing numbers for the Tigers so far. That block could go just out of bounds off the hands of the front row. But Kellen Church, like I was telling you, a freshman setter out of Jonesboro, Arkansas, and Jonesboro High School. Currently leads the team in assists and assists per set with 59 total, which rounds out to a 4.92 assists per set.
Which is a good amount when you're running a 6-2. You're taking care of your spot. And there's Riley doing what she's capable of doing. Riley jumps extremely well. When she swings tall, she can go over the top of a lot of blocks.
And it really looks like Riley's starting to find a bit of a rhythm here as they'll sub her out for Shannon Hogan, who will come in to serve now for the Tigers. Hogan, one of the two seniors on the team out of Plano, Texas, a defensive specialist for the Tigers. It's a great dig there by J.J. Mack. Keep this one alive. And that one just kind of got out of the reach of day there. We've got both seniors on the court now.
J.J. Mack and Shannon.
Said Mack, a senior defensive specialist out of Little Rock and Pulaski Academy.
And that was a 3-to-1 swing, so we just need to basically get the ball here and go with the next point.
It looked like that one hit her hand, but the referee will say it was Henderson point, did not hit the hand.
And when you get a line judge will see it, and they've got a tough angle, and the up ref is right in front of that play, and she had a little underneath it and just hit it over the top.
Like you mentioned earlier, you really don't know what's going to happen when that ball hits the hands, and that's another example of that. It just shanked right off to the right and out of play. And unfortunately, Ouachita finds himself in another 8-point deficit. A great kill there for E.J. Day. You kind of got to thank the ceiling there for that one a little bit too. It made it go off on an angle and go out of the reach of Henderson defender. But Ferguson will be back to serve now for the Tigers. 7-point set now. And it's just off the reach again.
And right now you've got to give Henderson credit because anytime they make a bad play, they follow it up with a good one. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing. And Phil has done I think this is his 5th year, but he's done a great job over at Henderson year in and year out, making the conference team. And they're in the tournament pretty much yearly now, which is exciting to see because it's good for volleyball in this little area.
I said both teams have done well in the past. Ouachita has their 2016 conference championship banner up on the wall. Another one just off the hands of the Tigers. Now a 9-point deficit here.
And if I'm not mistaken, this is their first game in front of home fans. Is that correct?
Correct. Their first game back on January 26th. It was before the GAC had allowed fans. So it was a very oddly quiet spec. Another kill there for Day. The Tigers get the point back and will be serving. Looks like Kellen Church going back to serve now for the Tigers. It does have 2 service aces with no errors so far. But yeah, this is the first time we've had fans, and they've really shown out here in what's allowed.
Yes.
Everybody seems to be wearing their masks. That was just a good play there by the Reddies. They're kind of put it where they aren't.
Well, the center of the floor, sometimes they'll call it the donut, which makes a little sense. But it's one of the most wide open spots that if a player reads it correctly, then it's an easy kill. And if they don't and they put the ball too high, then it typically turns around for an easy kill for the other team.
And Lowe's attack will be blocked right back And that was number 15, Bree Sanders for Henderson. Looks like another timeout is called, 19-9. It's current score, Henderson leading Ouachita. Said not what the Tigers wanted to start this one off.
No, it's not how you want to start, but again, you're down 10. Miracles do happen, and you come back from this far down. But the reality, what you want as a coach, is you want your kids to come back and fight and play point for point until this match is over. And if you can make a mini run, that's great. But you want to do point for point and try and steal some of that momentum for next time.
We'd like to take a quick second and shout out some of our sponsors. We've got Slim and Shorty's Restaurant, downtown Arkadelphia, and then John M. Pickett, attorney at law. Thank them for sponsoring tonight's volleyball match.
And Mr. Pickett's the father of Abby Pickett, who played volleyball for 4 years here, and she was an all-conference player of the year. And their other daughter played basketball a few years before that. So they've got family ties to OBU.
That's one thing about Ouachita. You see, even after you leave, either your kids will come here or you just they always stay involved. I've noticed.
I've always been amazed at how big for lack of better words, kind of the Ouachita market is. I can remember going to Seattle, Washington one time, and getting off an airplane, and I had a Ouachita hat on, and a little old lady runs up and hugs me. I had no idea who she was, but she gives me this hug and said her granddaughter went there.
Wow.
And her granddaughter was a good 20 years older than me. So.
That one just looked like it went off the arm of Dave Rung there for another point for Henderson. That's one thing I've noticed, too, like the market for Ouachita really surprised me. Whenever I came here 2.5 years ago now as a freshman, I'm a junior now, I was really surprised to see how many Texans, good job there. I believe that was Church who saved that one. I don't go just too far. That was Audrey Gallagher. They just subbed in for the Tigers. But yeah, whenever I came here, I was surprised to see how many people were from different areas.
Yes.
Because I expected it to be majority Arkansas. And, well, it kind of is majority Arkansas, but there's also a lot of Texans here.
35 to 40% from Texas, and that's a huge number when you look at a small private school in state.
Yeah, roughly 1,600 student population here. I did not expect to see 40% be from Texas. Low has another one rejected. That time it was by Maya Robinson.
The big thing for us right now is we've got to find just a little bit of rhythm and just kind of relax, take a deep breath. Because now, again, you're down 13. You're now playing just to steal a little bit of momentum so that you have something to build on for the second set. And as a coach, that's what you're hoping for. You do a couple of things well and go, look, when we did this is how well we did.
It's another great save by Lexi there, but it looks like that one will go out of bounds and another point for Henderson.
And right now, a big difference is Henderson's terminating, getting kills, and we're just not consistently as a whole team anyways.
Good job there again by the Tigers keeping it alive.
He called a double in the setter over here.
Oh, gotcha.
I have to catch myself, make sure I don't say anything. Like I'm trying not to say double and it's interesting. No matter how long it's been since you've coached, it's still in you. And I consider myself blessed to have been at OBU for so long and to be at a place. I had some amazing kids along the way. One of them just texted me, Nikki Clay, said, "Sounding good, Coach," which is hilarious because I know I don't sound great on the radio. But she's, she graduated, I think it was 2 years ago now, and she's coaching, and, it's just neat to see them progress.
That's one thing I'm glad that we've been able to do with the Sports Network now is really kind of get it out there, make it easier for alums or even future recruits to watch these games.
Absolutely.
And see how Ouachita's doing and see the care that we give for the athletes. And it's like that'll bring us to set point.
And it took us a while to kind of get the flow and the rhythm of this all set up. But once it's been great. And I know not being in coaching anymore, it's been fun to be able to see them play here when I'm not at the gym and also to see them play on the road.
Good job there. I believe that's another kill for Day. Looks like our live stats is down. That should be the 4th one so far for Day.
And that was actually.
Oh, that was Audrey.
Yes,
okay,
yes.
Audrey Gallagher. My bad. I missed that one. And go bounce. It looks like Henderson will take the first set by the score of 25-11. Like I said, Henderson takes the first one. Ouachita struggles there. Really needs to get some momentum turned around to come back here in the second set as Henderson leads 1-0. But we will be taking a quick break, and we will come back with set number 2 of Battle of the Ravine Volleyball Edition. You are watching the Ouachita Sports Digital Network.
The American dream to me as an immigrant means having the opportunities that my parents didn't have. Being the first one in my family to graduate, it meant everything my parents sacrificed for me to get to this point. It was paying off.
Estoy muy orgulloso de Michael por haberse graduado de colegio.
My path to a college degree would have been completely different had I not had a scholarship. It would just relieved a lot of the financial burden.
On my team, I thrive to work as hard as I can. I mean, whatever you do on the field, there's a positive correlation to whatever else you do, be it personal relationships, homework, the way you carry yourself. I've changed since I got to King University. It's really helped me to develop as a leader. I think it's honestly the best thing that's ever happened.
Wayne State Medical School has been my dream medical school since I was 5. Athletics are important, but so is service, so is research, so is becoming a better person. And we expect you to do well athletically, but don't forget the reason you're here, which is to give back to your community and to get good grades.
And welcome back to Ouachita Baptist University, getting ready for set 2. Best of 5 here tonight between the Henderson State Reddies and your Ouachita Tigers. Henderson took set number 1, 25-11. Ouachita looking to bounce back and build off of a few late kills they got there in the last set.
Well, we've had some success on the pins with our outside and right side. So in a perfect world, you get these great passes, your DS does what they're supposed to do, libero, and you just pin our hitters all the way out, and then that opens up our middles as well. But the way EJ's swinging and Audrey, why not give them a chance? And when Riley's in, give Riley a shot also. That's where most of our kills came from. I think we had one out of the middle. So let's go with what's working and then open it up, and that frees up the middle for you.
Let's see if they take the advice there. I mean, you coach Frizz, so there's the coaching tree there. Let's see if she takes advice, and that would be a service error for the Tigers. The first point goes to Henderson.
And that's always tough. What you want to do here is, like, when that happens, as a coach, you kind of take that deep breath and you go, okay, let's get this next one. Don't let them get a mini run off of our first mistake.
Gotcha. Now serving for Henderson's going to be number 20. That's Fairchild once again. So error there by the Reddies, ties it back up at 1. And it looks like Day's back there to serve now for the Tigers. Day is a freshman out of Belle Chase, Louisiana. A good kill from Kayla Steinmeier. She gets her first kill of the night. She's leading the team in kills so far with 26. A powerful attack there gets the Tigers up 2-1.
And again, that's one of those, you got a good pass and you go to a strong hitter on the outside. And I'm still learning names, so it's kind of fun to get to sit here and watch it.
See another great dig there by Castello. Another kill for Steinmeier as it goes off the hands of the Henderson front row. Washita now with a 2-point lead.
And one of the easiest things to do in volleyball is you get a lead and then you let up. And I've never quite understood it. But you want to have that mindset as a player, like we got to get the next one, get the next one, get the next one.
And that one will go out too far. That was off the hands of Maya Robinson.
And, you know, you always have to remember that, you know, if they beat you by 12 or 15 or whatever, you have the opportunity to turn around and do the same to them.
Exactly. It's not just one set. You can go to 5. And that's one of the things that I've enjoyed about volleyball is it's not just, there's no time limit. It's just whoever gets there first, and you have a few chances there as the Tigers get another point.
And it's unique because at times this is the most forgiving sport there is, and then at other times it's the most unforgiving sport. Because in basketball, if you have a turnover, they might miss the shot. There are lots of things that factor into it. But in volleyball, if you make the mistake, you automatically see that point go up on the board for the other team.
Yeah, that's a great job there by, I believe that was Emily Lowe there with the kill.
Yes, it was. And again, what you saw there was we had a couple of quick kills on the outside, and it frees that middle up. Because instead of there being a double block on her like there'd been the first few times, now it's a solo block, and Emily's going to hit around the block. She has since her freshman year anyway, so.
A service ace that time for the Tigers. And that puts us at a 6-point lead, and Henderson will call their first time out of the set. And you can hear the fans getting into it tonight. Well, it's not quite full capacity. Usually we usually have the bottom packed in.
Yes.
We don't have that tonight. We have some fans up top, but I believe that's going to add a little bit of a factor here in tonight's game.
It does, and you saw how much louder it got after even just a couple of the points. And this gym's a unique gym because when you're down there, people up here don't realize how loud it is down there. When you're down there, there were times, I mean, I yelled, I was a coach, but there were times I'm yelling and like, why are you so mad? I'm not mad, they just can't hear me.
Yeah,
and some of them, I imagine, you know, as a coach, some of them, they just didn't want to hear me, so it's okay.
I said this is an interesting setup. You don't really see too many set up in this formation here. And the sound really bounces around since it's all concrete, cinder blocks on the walls. There'll be another point for the Tigers.
Now the big thing here is, and it's unique because our stats don't show us to be a great serve team, but right now what's really helping is EJ's got a good serve, and it's keeping Henderson out of system, so they're having to free ball or hit down balls over to us, and it allows us like that. That's a tight pass. That setter did a good job in turning into something positive. But that's what you want to do is, you may not get aces out of it, but you want to be aggressive on your serve so that it impacts how they're playing.
Gotcha. It looks like, but Henderson now now down 6, 8-2 here. Point right back to the Tigers.
That one worked out well for us. She got a little underneath it when she ran a slide and hit it out of bounds. But when they served aggressively, and they got a free ball. They just didn't terminate. So again, the serve, it's huge to be aggressive with it like that.
A good kill there. I believe that was Steinmeier again.
I think that's her third this set. So
really coming in. Like I said, she's another one of the freshmen on the team for the Tigers out of St. Charles, Missouri. Really been doing numbers so far. Like I mentioned, leading the team in kills. And I'll go just a little bit too far out. It'll be a point for Henderson. But Steinmeier, she's played in every set so far and averaging 2.1 kills per set. But she's already above her average in this set.
Yes. You know, ideally, you want them to if you're getting 3 from a position, you're happy. Anything more than that's great. But if they're getting 2 and the other outside hitter's getting 2 to 3, then you're doing what you're supposed to do.
And that's a kill for Audrey Gallagher.
I believe that's her second this set also.
Gallagher, a sophomore of Henrietta, Texas.
And I'm not sure how many kills we have this set, but all but one has come from the pins. So it's exactly the adjustment you wanted to make, was go with what was working well.
I guess Coach Frizz did listen to you a little bit after all there.
I listened to her a lot. She was a smart player. And she coached at a school in Hot Springs, Lakeside, for years and had a great record there. I was really excited when they hired her.
I remember still in her, I believe, I've seen it in her office whenever I'm going to meet with her and talk to her about, upcoming games, and that she still has a sign in the back that says, "Welcome home, Coach Frizz," which I can only assume is from whenever she came back here to get the job. One thing I've learned from talking to Coach Frizz is that she loves it here. It's a good block there by Henderson.
Yes,
Got to give credit where credit's due for this.
Absolutely, and that's the thing about volleyball. When teams do what they're supposed to do, sometimes it just doesn't matter what you do. Now that ball, because she was a little farther off the net, her best opportunity was to take and roll it to a deep corner instead of trying to blast it. But when you've got a heavy arm, you like to swing hard. I mean, it is what it is. And that's the same kind of mistake. Again, she was off the net, wasn't able to take a quality approach. So you want to take that ball and it's all about angles in volleyball. You just want to take that ball and give yourself a chance to play for the next part of the point.
Washita still with a 5-point lead. Once again off the net.
And that's something, I believe you said she's a freshman. That's something that as she plays more, she'll get used to realizing that, hey, this team can block. I need to do something different. And those are things you can get by with in high school pretty consistently.
That one just went out. I believe that was Carly Ferguson went off the hand.
Yes, it was. And it was a great idea. The little roll shot was open. She just missed it wide.
Ferguson's been doing good so far this season. She leads the team in hitting percentage with .304, which is 8th in the GAC right now.
I'd say anytime you get somebody, if they're hitting over 300, I mean, it's comparable to baseball. If somebody's hitting 300 or better, they're having a good year. The biggest difference is you'll take an outside hitter, they can have a great year and only hit 225 because they get so many more opportunities. And volleyball is one of those weird sports. If you get a hitting error, it counts negatively against your hitting percentage. It's not just like you just count the kills, and if you get 6 kills out of 10 attempts, you hit 600.
Gotcha.
If you had 6 errors, you hit 0. So, I mean, it's kind of a –
wow.
Again, it's one of those sports that there's a reward for success and a consequence for – which is kind of a life thing. When you do well in life, you're not always rewarded the way we as people think you should be rewarded, but eventually we're going to get our rewards. I'll leave it at that.
So that's a good lesson. I've noticed one thing about a lot of the coaches here. They always find a way to tie it back into real life. And
I just don't think there's no way around it to me. You either are or you're not about the kids and about where they're going to be tomorrow, but in 10 years. And it's been really neat just to be able to follow kids for the past 15 to 20 years and see what they've done, their families. And like I said, it's just been a blessing. But that was a great tip. Took them out of system.
It looks just like that. Henderson has cut this back down to a 2-point set here.
And as a player and a coach, the discouraging part is 4 of those were unforced. Now, the block was their good job, but 4 of them were unforced errors, so you want to clean yours up.
Another one there. That'll point goes to Henderson. We'll be back, we are now to a 1-point set. Let's hope Washington turn around and get back on a run.
And we talked about it, how it's easy to make runs. And at some point you just have to take a deep breath and go, it's our ball, we're getting it back. But they're serving aggressively, and we're having to take swings like that, which there's the pass you want. Now you terminate this. Oh.
That was just a bit off there. And we are tied back up here at 11. There's that block again from that right side for Henderson. And Henderson takes their first lead since the first point of the game. Now 12-11 in favor of the Reddies.
And those are the kind of things that, if you allow it to, that can really change momentum. You can get discouraged on the Henderson side because you miss a serve, or you can go, oh, well, let's get the next ball back. But we got Shannon serving, Shannon Hogan. And she's got a good float serve. If it drops, it's a great serve.
A good job there. Now Tigers take a 1-point lead once again. One thing I've noticed about the Tigers so far is that from here I have a hard – the way where we're sitting, it's hard for me to see who's serving. But I haven't seen a lot of jump serves from Ouachita. Like I see that a little more – or I would think as you get a little bit more up you'd see more jump serves. But I haven't seen those.
It's all relative to what they do as they grow. I mean, starting young. I've got a little niece that's playing, and she's in 6th grade, and she's already doing jump serves. But they're training them that way. Me personally, I think you need to wait longer because it does a lot of torque on your shoulder. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. But the jump serve is very effective if you're good at it. If you're not, you can create a lot of serving errors that just immediately take you out of a point. I know Shannon at different times has got a good little little jump floater. JJ has one too, but JJ's had some shoulder injury. And there's so many things that factor into it.
Speaking of service errors, there you go. We should be tied back up here at 14.
And then you take Henderson, number 15, for example, Bree. She came here her freshman year. And then life stuff happens, and we found her a place that would allow her to finish school, and then she started picking volleyball back up. So I was super excited for her. She's from Texarkana, so it's been neat.
And I think that speaks to, that was another great kill. That was Emily Lowe that time. A good kill. Had a few of them blocked so far, but it's good to see her get back and hopefully get more in a better rhythm here.
Well, at the start of this set, we were outside and right side only, and then we had one kill out of the middle, and then we started going exclusively to the outside, and they got a few blocks. So at this point, you have to mix it back up again.
Gotcha. But you're talking
right here.
A good kill for Day, and just racking up the kills so far tonight.
She's got, and especially as she matures just mentally with the game, she's got such a bright future. I mean, she's a 6 rotation potential player. And then there's one of those things like now we see what we do since I think there've been 4 missed serves over the last 6 for both teams.
I remember I was more or less doing homework. I was watching some broadcasts, trying to learn a little bit more because volleyball is somewhat new to me. My younger sisters played some, so I've watched some there, but I just watched from the stands.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't look into all the rules. I think I watched 8 straight service errors in a row last night in a Division I game.
But that's a ball next year. She won't take that swing. She won't put it there. And again, that's just you just learn because that swing during high school club, a lot of times that's going to be a kill for you. But kids block well at this level.
That's a good heads-up play there by the Tigers. We get that back over. It looks like it caught both teams off guard a little bit.
Well, it did. It was an overpass and then a shank and then a... And it's a round ball, and we're not perfectly flat platforms. So the ball kind of does whatever we tell it to, even though sometimes we don't tell it that. But now our middle is getting to hit one-on-one, and now you go back out, and she goes cross, and there you go. That's exactly what you want.
A great job there. So you're talking about the ball going where it wants. That time it went to Ouachita's, or worked out in Ouachita's favor.
And that one came because AJ took a strong, EJ took a strong swing, and then Emily swept the ball and did what she's supposed to do. But now we're passing well, we're serving receiving well, and now we just have to stay confident and kind of build on points.
other than a few miscues there, in the first set, we're really starting to see them mesh well together. We hadn't seen that so far this season. It's really looking like they're starting to play together as a team.
Like I said, I got to watch the Tech game online at the beginning of the year, and then I got to watch the UAM 2 weeks ago. And they're just slowly maturing. And it's a process.
Especially when you have, and this is a very young team with
Yes.
all the freshmen that they've been putting in and out. Let that one will go a little bit too far, or hit a little bit too hard. It'll be another point for Henderson.
I mean, right now they've got 2 freshmen, a sophomore, a junior, a senior, and I'm not sure what year. I think Castillo's a senior also.
She is a junior.
A junior. Okay.
But like I said, there have been times when there's been 3 or 4 freshmen on the court at a time.
Yes. And those are exciting moments. That's what you build for. You look at it and go, the 2016 year, at one point in the championship game here, we're playing Arkansas Tech, and I look at them going, we've got 4 freshmen, a sophomore, and a junior on the court. So
Wow.
it lended itself to, and you've seen it because they had a good year the next year and then another good year. So they just kind of build on themselves. And anytime you graduate certain players, it always takes you a little while to get the new ones in and make them feel like they're confident and do what they can do.
That was a good dig there.
Yes, it was. But it was a great swing, so now you go back and try and do it again. There it is.
There we go. That time they couldn't get there. That was, give credit for Henderson there. That first
Libero
dig.
made a great dig. But again, if Emily takes kind of I call them lazy swings, if she doesn't go aggressively at that ball, she makes a great pass instead of just a great save. And when she made the great save, all of a sudden we're back in system again, and their defense is out of sorts.
It looks like another timeout was called. 20-17 in favor of the Tigers. And hoping Tigers can finish this out, tie this up at 1-1. One thing that looks like the libero for Henderson's having to get checked out by the athletic trainer.
Well, there's one thing about it as libero. You're intentionally or unintentionally, you're getting on the ground. And our floor, the sport courts are unique. Wood floors you'll stick to sometimes because they're prepped for basketball. I would imagine, especially this year, since they're ready, like they're basketball ready. Our court you tend to slide on, but anytime you play on a sport court, wherever the seams of the tile are together, you'll find a rough edge, and you'll wonder how you did it, but you somehow scratched your knee underneath your knee pad. Right, but that's usually what they'll do, or they'll dive and get a rope burn or whatever you want to call it on this floor.
Yeah, that's one thing I have noticed, that this is an interesting, this is not your typical court floor from what I've seen.
This is the exact court that we play the conference tournament on in Hot Springs.
Gotcha, okay.
So
that makes more sense. So go with I guess that's more of the philosophy of play whenever you get to the conference tournament, play with what you're going to be there.
And it's a unique reason, but that's the reason we chose this particular court, because we were getting a new one.
Gotcha. And that time it looked like that was Steinmeier again.
It was.
He's finally able to get it over that the front line.
I think that's 5-4 of the set, which again puts her. I don't think she had any in the first set, so that puts her at 2.5. And if she gets this one, that's a 3 average. Back to Audrey.
So that one just got,
and it just caught the baseline. So
yeah, from where I am, that corner is just out of view. But still a 3-point set here, 21-18.
And 3 points as you get into the 20s, it's a huge lead.
And we'll make it 4 here after another service error.
And that's the drawback. We talked about it a little bit earlier about serving and being aggressive. There are times that you want to be aggressive, but you can't miss. And that's one of those moments when you're down 3, you're like, you want to be aggressive, but you sure don't want to miss it.
It's one of those, I guess you'd call that more of a double-edged sword whenever you're being that aggressive.
That was a great defensive play by Henderson again.
like they found a hole there on that one.
And that's the shot earlier where we talked about EJ and Kayla blasting that second ball into it. That's the shot that they're gonna learn, and they'll go, oh, now's the time for this one, because it's wide open after you bang a ball because everybody's running back to get in position.
It looks like our live stats just came through. A bit of an issue there at first. But according to the live stats, we were talking about Steinmeier. She has 4 right now, according to the live stats. And Day has 6. 22-19 is the score here. Good dig there by Day.
I love it.
Another dig there by Day. They're going to say point goes to Henderson.
I think they called a net violation.
So that'll make it a 2-point game here, 22-20. Henderson serving.
Now, again, they've cut it up to under 3, so now this is a crucial point for both of them.
Because you've got to win by 2, no matter what. That would be a double there. And their Washita goes back up to 3, so that crucial point luckily goes in favor of the Tigers.
And again, it's one of those weird sports. Look, that point goes the other way. It's a big swing. Mm-hmm. You take what turns into a 3-point game and it becomes a 1-point game. It's what the 3-point line has done for basketball. It allows you that opportunity to get back into one. But that's a great swing from the back row by EJ. Good pass by Kayla. And then
that was a great job there. That was 13. That was Carly Ferguson there getting that kill. Now we are getting on set point here. Tigers looking to tie it up at 1-1.
And this is where you kind of look at it and you want JJ to be aggressive. She's doing her little jump serve.
And that'll go just off the hands.
And that was great. JJ read the donut and she went to it, and then the outside hitter over here turned it back down the line.
Still a 3-point game, though. It's 24-21.
Yes. And again, it gives you that wiggle room, because if they make a mistake, it's over, and if you just take care of the ball here, it's over.
So Washita where they want to be here. Looking for Steinmeier again.
That's a great dig. Their libero plays really good defense.
Another point for Henderson there. Now 2-point game.
And here's where you take the timeout and kind of that ice in the kicker. Like, you're going to tell your kids what to do, but you're also wanting that kid that's got a pretty good little jump serve to have to think this through. Give her a little more time to think about what she's supposed to do. In most cases, the coach over here for Henderson, Phil, he won't go say anything to her until she gets back out, and they'll call whatever zone they want her to serve. But this has been a little bit more exciting match. You see that OBU stepped up, and then Henderson kind of started matching it. And this is what's kind of exciting about volleyball, because in other games, I guess basketball tends to do this. Somebody can get a lead, and then you make a run and you cut back into it. Football, when you tend to get big leads, it's very rare that those amazing, like, they're fun to watch when it happens, but it's just very rare to have it happen. And in volleyball, you can beat somebody 25-5 and then lose 25-23, and you're going, we just completely dominated this team. And then you lose, and all of a sudden the next one you lose 25-5, and you go. And you're like, these are the same kids that were out there the whole time, and you make a change, and sometimes at this moment, it's what these kids do on the court.
Good reception there by Mack. Just too much there from Steinmeier again. Looks like you're talking that same thing, a little bit too far off the net.
And again, that's a ball that, with more and more experience, she'll just develop a roll shot, and it'll be one that she makes a tough play for them.
So
but there's the pass you want. And there it is.
There we go. Washita takes set 2.
Where Kayla's had this huge success is when the setter puts the ball really wide towards the pin, and she swings off their right side down the line.
Said Washita wins set 2, 25-23. And we will take a quick break between sets. We'll be right back for set 3. Once again, all tied up here 1-1, Ouachita and Henderson. You're watching Ouachita Volleyball on the Ouachita Sports Digital Network.
I mean, whatever you do on the field, there's a positive correlation to whatever else you do, be it personal relationships, homework, the way you carry yourself. I've changed since I got to King University. It's really helped me to develop as a leader. I think it's honestly the best thing that's ever happened.
Wayne State Medical School has been my dream medical school since I was 5. Athletics are important, but so is service, so is research, so is becoming a better person. And we expect you to do well athletically, but don't forget the reason you're here, which is to give back to your community and to get good grades. Wayne State Medical School.
And welcome back to Ouachita Baptist University, getting ready for set 3. It is all tied up 1-1 here between the Ouachita Tigers and the Henderson State Reddies. Henderson took set 1, 25-11. Ouachita came back and took set 2, 25-23. Ouachita looking to pick up their first home win of the season, while Henderson's looking to pick up their first away win of the season. So both teams 0-1 in these certain situations.
And this particular rivalry, as you know, for football, basketball, baseball, softball, whatever the sport is, swimming, men's and women's swimming, it's a huge it's always exciting because the years that the teams are equal, they're great games. The years that one team has a great season, the other one's struggling, this is still a great game. And that's been the case for all the sports. There was a stretch way back that Henderson was 29-0 against OBU in volleyball. And then over the next 8 years, we've kind of flipped it to where we were, I think, 10-4, whatever it was. Yeah. But it was one of those things you look at and go, man, they dominated. But I went back and looked at scores from them, and it would be 30-28 or 15-13 back in the day. It's a good pass by Shannon and a good set. We're getting a little bit tight on the ball. There you go. If you get a ball that the setter sets and it's tight to the net, your hitter basically has, I call it 3 options. You can blast the block and hope for the best. You can hit a roll shot, or you can try to hit the outside hand of whoever's blocking on the right side, which is what she did on the second swing there. The first one, she kind of went to the middle of it. But Henderson's serve receive looks pretty good, so they're able to stay in system.
They'll pick up that point there. It'll be 2-1 now in favor of the Reddies. You were talking about the rivalry, and you mentioned swimming, and it is just as much of a big rivalry for swimming. I've gotten to call that the past 2 years.
And it's fun.
Yes, definitely. I never thought I would enjoy calling swimming before. The point there for the Tigers or the Devils was a little bit too far out there.
What we were really blessed with is when I took the job, the swim coach was one of my professors, and some of our girls started probably dating swimmers or whatever it was, but we started getting the fan support, and it had been a great swimmers would be here tonight except they're out of town.
Yep.
But it's always been a great relationship between the two, and it's just fun. It really is.
That's one thing I've noticed about volleyball. Like, usually, like I said, downstairs is normally packed, and usually who's downstairs it's athletes.
Absolutely.
You see the football team, you see the basketball team. They'll get out of there's been before they get out of practice, and they're over here immediately after practicing over just a few hundred feet away in Bill Vining. They're over here cheering on volleyball.
Okay, the plus to what Kayla just did, she misses the swing, but she made an adjustment. Now she takes that adjustment, instead of hitting it hard cross and goes deep corner, that ball's in. And those are just the little things that, again, you learn. But if I'm watching this just objectively, I'll go, that's a great adjustment. That was Audrey again.
That should be her 5th kill of the night for Audrey Gallagher. Like I said, Gallagher, she's a sophomore out of Henrietta, Texas. So she's averaging she's averaging 1.67 kills a set there without it to go out of bounds.
And that swing by the outside for Henderson was just a great cut shot. It was even sharper. And I've got a good angle for this side of the court. It was sharper than I thought she was about to hit it, so that's kind of fun to watch. And I guess the good part of not being here, I get to kind of be objective for both teams. I think the word's objective and not subjective, but I may be saying that backwards.
No, I think you're right. You kind of just get to talk about what's going on for both teams. Yeah.
And that ball, don't swing. That ball hit the antenna on the swing.
Gotcha. So tied back up at 4 here.
And the unique thing about switching from a 6-2 to a 5-1, it affords you the opportunity to make a lot of different subs. So you can sub outside hitters for DSs and a middle for a middle. Just
a good jump there.
And again, that's JJ. She's got a good little jump floater, and it looks like she's doing it well. And she's probably going to serve back to this side of the court again, away from the libero, if the ball does what you want it to. Of course, it doesn't always.
I know whenever I would play intramural volleyball here, I would always blame it. The ball doesn't want to go where I want it to.
Oh, it's always the ball's fault. It's never.
Oh, it's definitely not. It was never my fault because I'd never played volleyball before.
But like that serve, it was a good float serve. It just drifted back to the libero instead of drifting the other way. And I wish there was a way to teach it and coach it to where it never did anything other than what you want it to. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, that doesn't work the same. But since the first set, it's really been a point-for-point game after we kind of relaxed and got used to playing in front of people again.
And see, that's something we hadn't seen so far this season. Like I said, the first match that we called where we lost in 3 straight, it was always they couldn't go back to back. They wouldn't be back and forth to start with. The visiting team would get up a bunch, and then it would be back and forth. But it's good to see them kind of start it off like that here.
Yes, and it's tough sometimes for whatever reason. The first 5 points can always be really hard. I can't tell you how many times over the years that you look up and you're down 5-1 and you go, and you just beat them. And you go, how are we down 5-1? And then you go back and watch video and it's a missed serve or a foot fault or a serve receiver error, and you go, okay, that's where we're at.
I'm not quite sure what the holdup is here.
It looks like there's either a rotation issue for one side or the other, which I didn't see what they were doing, or something got written down wrong in the scorebook, and they're just having to go back and adjust and go, this was the person that subbed in here, and you just make the correction. Because sometimes you'll miss a sub, and all of a sudden look up, and the ref's like, this person's not in the book. And you go, oh, they subbed in here for this person. So. But I like how we've adjusted and started moving, and again, it starts with serve receive, but we've adjusted and we're using the entire net instead of just the middle to the outside.
Well, Ouachita picks up another point there off the attack error for Henderson. I believe that was off the hands of number 12, Uzo. Looks like that is Hogan back there to serve.
It is, yes it is.
Ouachita now up 1-6-5. Good job.
What a great play by both of them.
really seen them step up tonight from what we saw last time. We saw some miscues the first match we called here. And Castlo already has 12 digs.
Which is on pace for her.
So that point will go to Henderson. Not quite sure what that.
Well, they said the last ball didn't come over, that they didn't touch it, so it made it 4 contacts on us. From this angle, I thought it came over, that she swept it, but there's also a down ref right in front of that play that sees it better than we do. That was a great spot. Now they're out of system, and you should get a good pass here and terminate. A little bit higher.
Just to the front. And that's another thing. Henderson, their blocking tonight has been very impressive.
Now, Phil comes from, and I just drew a blank on the league, but it's the Northern Sun, I think. They're big, tall kids. And that's one of their big strengths up there is they can all block. So he just brought that down.
Another tack error there puts it. Now Henderson up by 2, 8-6.
And here EJ's had a couple of tough swings, and sometimes it's by no fault of your own as an outside hitter. It's a set that takes you off the net or a pass that pulls a setter too far off. But here you put Riley in and just, there you go.
A good job there. Was that Church, I believe?
Yes, it was. And that's a play that anytime the libero is serving for the middle, in that case the middle stays in and serves, it's always a good idea to attack that position.
So Church is technically a setter here. Does have a few kills. Or that was only her, I believe that was just her second kill of the season there.
Well, and part of that is running a 6-2 because when you're back row, you can't make that play. You can make other plays that'll do it, but they're a little bit harder.
Good block there by Emily Lowe to cause that one. Lowe actually leads the team, I believe, in blocks. She had 8 coming into this match. Washita now back up on top. They scored 3 straight, now up 1, 9-8.
And they're doing a good job because they really are trying to take Henderson's libero out of serve receive. They've got a couple other girls that pass extremely well. But there's a reason that each team has a kid wearing a certain color jersey. Now, sometimes they're just a great defensive player and still not a great serve receiver, but that's a great pass and set. And you'll see that you'll take that play from Riley where she pushes it deep because she made them make a good play, and then you're allowed to get back into a flow.
And there, Emily Lowe gets another kill.
And sometimes you just take a ball deep so it allows your team to set back up defensively. And there's different strategies for it. You know, you want to go for kills any chance you can, but sometimes you don't have the opportunity, so push it as deep as you can.
So whenever you push it there, that's a good kill there for Henderson. So look, pushing deep, basically just giving yourself a few extra seconds.
Because if you push it deep, then it allows your block. Emily, for example, if she comes around and runs a slide, so she's all the way to the pin, then they get a ball back over quick and you have to push it deep, then you're just setting up for it. Or if you have somebody fall behind you, you can push it deep to give them time to get up.
That was a good attack there by Lowe again. Another point there. It takes out the hand sanitizer. Or hand sanitizer dispenser over there. Either of those, it was too hard of a hit there, and Tigers now up 3. Great job there by Audrey Gallagher. She should be picking up. I believe that might be her 5 here. So it might be her 6th on the night. There'll be a timeout called. Tigers leading by 4, 13-9. Really, and this is what we wanted to see here. Like, we've really seen them kind of step up, come together, and actually get a good rhythm going.
And they switched to a 5-1 for the first time tonight. So that first set, everybody's still getting used to that feel, and you've got nerves of being at home. And I don't care how many times you do it. As a coach, you're nervous when you're at home. I was always way more nervous for the girls to do well here than I was when we'd go across the street or go to Oklahoma somewhere. You just want them because you know what it's like to be in front of people, and you want them to perform well in that situation because they're already hard enough on themselves. And again, when you make a mistake, everybody sees it, everybody knows.
Yeah, and you see the immediate effects of it.
Yes.
It's not like you can't. It's not like in football, because that was the sport I used to play. If you miss an assignment, it may or may not make an impact on the play.
Yes.
Like it could cause it to mess up, and then they see you. But if it goes the other direction, nobody knows you did it until you watch film. But like you were talking about here, you make a mistake, and it's immediately on the scoreboard.
Mm-hmm. And it's discouraging at times when you look up and it's like point, and you just go, okay, I've got to settle down. But then you're seeing the points go up, and it's hard for you to find that balance. But I mean, I've been really impressed with the way they played the first set, the nerves, and then the miscues. And then the second set, you get a big lead, and then you let them close it. To finish that one out was huge. And you kind of, again, you take momentum back in different ways.
And it looks like Henderson will get the first point out of the timeout. Bring it back to a 3-point game there.
And one little adjustment they'll probably make, when they run their little slides to the right side, I know they're capable because I saw them doing it warm-up. They're capable of hitting hard line, but there's less room for error when you make them hit hard line. So instead of letting them swing back to the wide side of the court, bring your blocking a little bit and force them to go hard line.
Another kill for Emily Lowe. Started off slow and really seems to be picking up here, and especially here in this third set.
But that's where that confidence comes in. You know, you start passing well, and all of a sudden your hitters get to take a couple of good swings. And right now the ref is telling Emily, make sure you keep your excitement directed at your side of the court. And it's one of those situations where as a coach, you know, you want them to be excited, but you really do. You want them to be like, hey, stay right here. Stay within us. And that ball was probably out, and I'm glad she played it. But there's your deep ball that allows you to kind of get set. And then they'll probably push it deep again. She should have pushed it deep.
Another block from Henderson front. That time, I believe that was. I know it'll be credited to Bo.
Yes, but number 15.
That was 15, so that's Bree Sanders.
Yes. And Bree has got a great vertical. Like she can jump through the roof. When she played for us, it was like, you're going to be good at this.
You were talking about that, how she ended up going over to Henderson. You helped her get over there. I know that we're rivals. We're across the street rivals, as Coach Frizz narrowly avoids that one out of bounds. But even though we're rivals, you work together. I mean, you live in the same town. It's not like you see other rival schools.
You can not like each other between the lines, but if it carries beyond that, then it's got too much impact.
That was a great block there from Ferguson and Steinmeier. It's a great job. Washington now has a 5-point lead. Really starting to get in rhythm. And like I said, Washington not a team that gets a bunch of blocks, and that was a big one there from those two Tigers. But, yeah, that's one of those things, especially in these situations, most of the time, another block from the Tiger front court puts Tigers up 6 points.
And they're doing the same thing we did during that stretch where they're just blasting hard instead of taking the smart shot. And again, it's different. If you've got a kid like Kayla, and again, this is the first time I've seen them live, she may end up being a kid that you can just bang through the block. But if you bang through it once and then you do an off-speed, they can't defend you.
Mm-hmm. That one just went off the hands of Cass Lowe.
But yeah, given the nature of life in general, if you carry things beyond the moment you're in, we're supposed to compete, and you don't play to lose, you play to win, so you compete. But you should do it with respect and pride, and there's another great tip by Audrey.
That will go out. Another point for the Tigers. Now, once again, a 6-point lead. And it's not often that you would often run into your rival coach at the grocery store.
Or in this case, go eat with them. And
yeah. I mean,
you do. You develop a relationship with people. And when people ask me what I miss most about coaching, it's the players and the relationships with other coaches that I've made over a decade and a half of it.
Another block there for Henderson. 5-point set now. That's one of the things I've enjoyed about being here. And I mean, it's not that often because I could walk outside right now, look over and see Henderson's apartments.
Literally across the
across the highway.
Everybody says it's, and they describe it as a highway. It's a 2-lane road in Texas, in Dallas. It's just a 2-lane street.
It just gets stuck. And that one's a little bit too hard from Steinmeier. Another point for Henderson. Yeah, I mean, it's just a 2-lane road. I mean, it just gets a highway marker on it.
Yes.
Because that road happens to go for a good way. So Arkansas Lake will put a highway marker on it.
It heads to Hot Springs, so.
Another one again, just a little bit too much.
But again, that's that shot. She goes this way with it. And the court's a 60 by 30 roughly. But, you're looking at a 30 by 30 square. If you're 10 feet in and you aim to the side, you've only got 20 feet to work with. If you're 10 feet in and you aim deep, you've got like 33 or 34 feet to work with. So you create a lot of mistakes by taking yourself and not hitting an angle that the ball can do. And that was the part of physics that I actually enjoyed, understanding what balls do with spin and things like that. And then geometry, because other than that, I hated math. I still do. I understand it, but I don't like doing it.
Yeah, that was me. Math was never my strong suit. That's why I'm a communications major here at Ouachita.
But that timeout that Coach Friz took, or Kaiser, Frizzell Kaiser, I'm having to do this because it was Friz for a long time for me. But that timeout's a great, you got a 3-point lead, sneaking up on 20. There's different trains of thought. Let's go one more and we'll keep it at 2. But if you keep it at 2 and then you make a mistake, it's a 1 point. There's a lot to it. And it's a big deal. If they miss the serve and you go up 4, and like I said, you turn it over in basketball, they might hit a 3, they might shoot an air ball. You have a mistake in volleyball, then it's a 2-point swing.
As we're talking about, I can't think of another sport that's the immediate effects of a mistake like this one. Another good dig there by Castro.
Now go deep cross. There you go.
There we go. Another kill for Steinmeier. I believe that was Steinmeier, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Another kill. That should be her 8th, and she'll take the lead overall of all players with 8 kills. There's that 4-point lead. Ouachita knocking on the door of 20.
And that is really good by Kayla because she's steadily making adjustments where she's swinging and just working the ball around the court. You miss some and you get some.
That served there by Hogan.
Great dig by JJ.
A great job there by the Tigers, causing some confusion there on that one, getting the point.
And sometimes you're accidentally in the right spot, which is what happened there, and that's how it goes. But now you've got that 5-point lead. You're up 5. They've got to get 10 to your 5, so 2-1, you still win. And that's just a good swing. That's that deep corner. It's the one zone on the court. Volleyball court is split up into 6 zones, sometimes 9 depending on coaches. But like the right back corner is your 1, and then 6, 5, 4, 3. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But that one corner is one of the primary spots to hit. And again, that ball accidentally goes to the one corner, but it's just hard to defend.
That was another kill there for E.J. Day. She'll pick up her 8.
But again, E.J. on that swing, she was trying to kind of go that way, and it was good because they had their middle serving instead of the libero. And the score is incorrect on that, by the way, right at the moment. It should be 21-16.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's right here on this. The scoreboard just had it off. There, now it's fixed. So now it'll be a 4-point game.
Yes.
So 21-17 now. Now serving for Henderson, that is number 6, Abby Blackburn out of Leawood, Kansas.
It's a good pass by Shannon.
Maybe just a little bit too much there.
And again, take that angle and turn it just a little bit. That ball lands 2 or 3 feet out of bounds, and you turn that angle, and we're talking just like a degree. And all of a sudden, it's a perfect swing.
And I'm sure those are adjustments that'll get made as time goes on.
Well, and there's an adjustment that EJ made. almost every time before that, she's kind of blasted that ball. And then that one, she hits it off speed. And what that does is the block jumps with her because they think she's going to blast it, so the ball's going to get there fast. She rolls it, and the ball comes down on them. And that's just something she'll just progressively get better at with experience.
Ouachita serving now, 22 to Henderson's 18. It'll be out. It was close, but it will be out, so it'll be 22-19. Still 3-point game.
Those are the ones when you're the home team, you're yelling it's in, and when you're the visiting team, it's out. And it was as close as you can get, but that was the right call.
19 serving 22 here. Set number 3. Another good kill there by Emily Lowe.
And what we call those whiff kills, and sometimes that's the best swing you can make. Because she didn't have the intent of it rolling off her fingers. She had the intent of blasting it, but
in the end it works out. That's the important part.
When you see a point go up on your side, it really doesn't matter how it gets there.
It's in situations like that you're okay with being a little more lucky than good in those situations, and that will be headed to set point off of the attack error for Henderson, 24-19.
And what's happened with some of the Henderson hitters, they don't want to make the mistake. And anytime in any sport, anytime you play not to make a mistake, you're destined to make mistakes.
Of course.
Now here's one where I would like for her to be able to serve to the one corner over beside number 10 down that line and just be aggressive with it right there.
There you go. You called it right there. Good dig there by Castello. Lowe tries to get the kill. Henderson will keep it alive. And that'll go out of bounds, and Tigers will take a 2-1 lead after winning set number 3, 25-19. So that will take another quick break. Once again, Tigers take set 3, now up 2-1 overall. Best out of 3 here. You're watching Tiger Volleyball on the Ouachita Sports Digital Network.
The American dream to me as an immigrant means having the opportunities that my parents didn't have. Being the first one in my family to graduate, it meant everything my parents sacrificed for me to get to this point. It was paying off.
Estoy muy orgulloso de Michael por haberse graduado de colegio.
My path to a college degree would have been completely different had I not had a scholarship. It would just relieved a lot of the financial burden.
On my team, I thrive to work as hard as I can. I mean, whatever you do on the field, there's a positive correlation to whatever else you do, be it personal relationships, homework, the way you carry yourself. I've changed since I got to King University. It's really helped me to develop as a leader. I think it's honestly the best thing that's ever happened.
And welcome back to Ouachita Baptist University. We're getting ready for set number 4. Could be the final set of the night. Ouachita leads it 2-1 over the rivals from across the street, Henderson State Readies. Henderson took set 1, 25-11. Ouachita's won 2 straight. Took set 2, 25-23. And then just took set 3, 25-19. Going over some stats here, we noticed that so far both teams are even in digs. So kills are a little bit to Ouachita's favor.
And kind of countered, unfortunately, by the errors.
Yeah. Like I said, it's 35 kills for Ouachita, but also 23 attack errors to Henderson's 29 kills and 19 attack errors.
And both teams are they're both hitting below 100, which, again, it can be very deceptive because you take OBU's first set, and that kind of kills your hitting percentage. And then you take Henderson's start of the second set, and that kills their hitting percentage. But the big thing to really notice is that they're even on digs. They're very close in blocks. Serving aces are the same, but the Henderson's had a couple more errors. And, again, it's all when you have these mistakes. If all those happened in the first set, it's not a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
But in a 25-23, and I think they missed 3 serves in that one, it's a big deal.
I really expected the total blocks to be a little bit more towards Henderson's side because that second set, it looked like Henderson was really dominating the blocks.
And there were a couple of times, though, that I think the refs didn't call a block. They said it hit the net. So from up here, we see a block, but down there it's statted as a hitting error.
Okay, gotcha.
And just a hitting error, not a block. But now Kellen Church is back to serve again, and at the start of the second set, she served it deep. So here you want her, like this is one of those things, you're a freshman, this is a maturity step. What kind of serve do you do this one? And you want her to stay aggressive, but you want her to just kind of take a little bit off of it. There you go.
Like that, quick service ace to start. Tigers quickly get up a point there. Instead of going deep, kind of went mid there.
Yep, and that's a very good way to make sure you don't miss that first serve. And then if you can go short again here and be aggressive, do it. But if you're a deep server, do it. And she went deep with that one.
So Church is a very good athlete. And a good block there from Lowe and Gallagher. Mm-hmm. And now Tigers have a 2-0 lead. Really good showing there by that front row. We were talking about Church. She's a special athlete. You don't always see players play 2 different sports. She is. And I know she chose Ouachita over some bigger schools because Ouachita was going to let her do both. And I believe that just really speaks to her and kind of what she wanted. There's another kill for Day, and Tigers take a 3-0 lead. Tigers coming out strong here. That should be her 9th kill. Maybe it depends on when it updates. She at least has 9 kills on the night so
And that
far.
was a great swing. She hit a little bit behind the 10-foot line, but instead of her missing inside the 10-foot and wide, she goes 2 or 3 foot deeper. 2 or 3 feet deeper.
And Henderson will come back to the point there. That one looked like it might have gone out of bounds, but Hogan went for it, and it'll be point for the Reddies.
And that's one of the things. It's really hard sometimes when you're having to transition all the way out to the line to know exactly where the line is. She was there, and then you have to try and pick the line up and pick the ball up, and sometimes it's just hard to tell.
But that was Day's 10th kill. It updated there. And that was Gallagher there, a little bit too much on that one.
What happened on that one is, and I don't know if the set was too high or if Audrey went too early, but she got there and was on the way back down when she made contact. Mm-hmm. And when you're on the way down and you make contact, that hand tends to be pointed up and not out and down.
And Emily Lowe, and it'll be another kill for Lowe there. Thought it might stay alive, but Lowe gets another kill on the night.
And that's what I remember from Emily freshman year and the matches I got to watch last year. She's got a heavy arm swing.
That was Lowe's number. That was her 6th of the night.
That was EJ with the serve. And that was just a great play by the Henderson.
They get it back to a 1-point game now, 4-3.
The ball died inside, and the block was going, and she was able to reach it and did what you want with it. Sweep it. You'll have to excuse me when I just say things in the middle of a. That was a great dig by
We won't complain one bit, Coach. There we go, another kill for the Tigers. I believe that was Gallagher once again. That'll be her 8th on the night.
And all this momentum swing started when they were able to terminate a few on the outside, open up the middle, and then they started terminating there. And now it makes it very hard for Henderson to defend against it because you can get kills from all 3 positions. Like that, Audrey did another great job.
So you see Fielder, Fielder's back in now for the Tigers. That one will go out. Ouachita back.
That was almost a great swing because she almost caught the block and then she almost caught the corner line. And you say that it was almost a great swing, but it wasn't, and you lose a point for it. So
almost doesn't help you in many things. Another one outside, 4-point lead.
And right now, if Henderson setter can tighten the ball up just a little bit, it'll allow a couple of their hitters to swing over the top of the block instead of having to swing off and flat. Like that, she had to swing deep, but that's a great deep angle.
That one got blocked right back in the fielder. And the way that was, I don't think she could have gotten away to let another player get in there to keep that one alive.
No, it was such a quick play, and the whole start of the play came this way, and then you go out quick, which is what you want to do as a setter. And
Henderson now serving. It's 4, serving 7. Ouachita with a 3-point lead. So that one got in, so it'll be a point for Henderson.
And that particular tip that she just did, there are times that you want to tip down the line, but their libero is starting to cheat up and read the tip. So now you either want to go down the net with it or back to the donut and make her play hard towards somebody instead of letting her pick it up freely by herself. There it is.
And Fielder gets another kill. That'll be her 3rd of the night.
And that time she was swing blocking. And do you know what a swing block is?
I do not.
Okay.
And or you can pretend that I don't, until that way the people at home can know what's going on.
When you swing block, you start inside and both of you go out together, and by swinging your arms, it allows you theoretically to jump higher. But what that one did is she ended up going outside the block, outside the hitter, and then left a hole. So sometimes, that's a great dig by JJ, but sometimes when it goes out there, you're better off just getting there and going straight up with the hitter as opposed to doing the swing, because like I said, when she did the swing, she left a hole. And it's hard to defend behind a moving block and a hole. So
Henderson got that point off of the deflection off of Mack, so that means it'll be 6 serving 8. Ouachita with a 2-point lead here in the 4th set.
Our block has done a much better job of closing. And unfortunately, that's a tough ball. Sometimes you want the middle to stay down on that, but she takes a pretty aggressive swing, and if you stay down, then it gets to the back too fast. But she just happened to mistime it and was on the way back down when it hit her hands.
We're back to a 1-point game now here, 8-7.
There it is.
Riley gets another kill. That'll be the 4th kill of the night for Fielder. Really seems like she's starting to get back in a groove here. Like I said, she had been starting a lot. Coach Frizz or Coach Kaiser, I call her Coach Frizz too. I kind of pulled her out for a little bit, trying to get some confidence back, and it looks like it's starting to go back out as she looks like she subs back out there.
Yeah, in this case, she was rotating, and they put the DS in to serve her for her.
But it's good to see her come back
yes,
in and really start to get
absolutely.
that confidence back.
And that's the biggest thing, as I think this, again, something that applies to all of life. The more confident we are in whatever we're doing, typically the better we do at it. Whether it's public speaking or volleyball or your job, whatever it is, the more confident you are in doing it, the better you do at it. And it is exciting. Like I said, I've known Riley and her family for years, so it's really neat to, like when she chose Ouachita, I ended up leaving the next year, and I was so excited that she was here, and it's just, I don't know, you're proud of them and you're excited that they're doing what they're doing. That was a great pass by Shannon.
A good kill there for Ferguson. That'll be her 3rd of the night. So Ouachita goes back out to a 2-point lead there. That was a good job there trying to hit through the block. I believe that's what it was.
And what she did is she turned the ball to the line and hit off the outside block, her hand.
That'll be a point for Henderson there, back to a 1-point game.
And that one was kind of an obvious touch by sound. But if you're a line judge, it's hard to see that because she hit it flat and hard. It's hard to see a ball lift. Like unless it really bounces, and then that's when the up and down ref did a good job of making, kind of overruling them, going, this is what we saw.
Another heart attack there by Day. that one went out again. So it'll be point Tigers. Henderson acted like they wanted the point on that one.
I thought there might have been a touch, but again, we don't have the right angles, and I didn't. With headphones on, I can't hear it. So I like to think I hear what's happening, but I know that I'm hearing kind of a muffled version of it.
11-9 now, your score. That block will go out of bounds, so it'll be point Henderson. Another back and forth set, similar to what we saw in set number 2.
You know, teams don't typically just lay down and die. Now, sometimes it happens, but it's not the norm.
That was Audrey Gallagher again, just a little bit too much there from the outside.
And that was, Audrey had the right idea because you saw the angle that it went. And sometimes people just swing a little bit harder and make a little more solid contact than they wanted to, or get under a ball. There's a lot of different things that factor into it. But that was a great dig, and now you want to get right here. You want to terminate this ball because there it is.
Go. Another kill for EJ Day. That'll be her 12th on the night.
And that's the exact same angle that Audrey was going for. She just missed it a little bit long. So, again, what you're seeing from hitters, actually on both sides of the court, you're seeing hitters take different angles, and sometimes you just miss it, and it is what it is.
Saw Day serving there for the Tigers. Fielder looks for the attack. There's a good dig there by Henderson.
Great dig by Lex. Okay, that was good because at least it made her make a good play. What you want to do is you want to make the other team, if they're good, make them make good plays.
Talking about Caslow, really a special player for the Tigers. Like I said, their 3rd year here with Washita. That one go a little bit too far. Another point for Henderson, tied back up at 12. But last year like I said, she's first. I'm assuming she'll probably still be first in the league after tonight in digs. She had 81 coming in, but also last season, she led the entire GAC at the end of the year with 5.32 digs per set. That's her. I mean, that's what you want from her.
Absolutely.
And she's been such a big part of this team. She's really kind of been stepping into the leadership role. And she's been somebody to play every set pretty much all the time unless she is subbed out occasionally. Call a net violation on Henderson?
No, well, I guess they did. It was technically, I'm having to look at how they're lined up. I think it should have been a back row attack by Henderson, but they called her in the net instead, so that worked out. And there's another overpass.
Another kill there by Ferguson. Getting the point. Tigers back up to a 2-point lead.
And again, that's the difference in not necessarily getting an ace, but having a very aggressive serve.
Caslow there to serve.
And she's got another one of those little jump floaters that does a good job.
Great dig there by Caslow again.
And their libero right now is matching dig for dig. One thing that I'd like to see, and their hitters stopped making the adjustment earlier too. Instead of hitting that ball, the off-speed ball at this angle, hit that same shot except go down the line, go back to that one corner, because then you take the ball away from the libero and you're having to make a pass behind the setter back to her. When you go to this side, it's an easy pass, right? Everything's in line.
A good kill for Fielder there. She'll pick up another one.
I should put her in the 5 or 6 range as well now.
That puts her, that'll put her at 5. That should put her there at 5. That'll be 5 Tigers and 5+ kills.
And that's good because each of their outside hitters, I think it's Kayla. Yes, Kayla Steinmeier. And then Riley and then EJ, they're all having some success out there. And sometimes you take a kid that has 5 or 6 kills and you make a sub because they're running out of steam a little bit or just to change a little bit of momentum, and then you can put them back in. because at any point Kayla could come back in and get kills back on the outside again.
That was a good serve from Mac there with that one. Castro looked like she thought it was going to go out, ends up hitting the end. It's a 2-point game now. Now, you're talking about subs, and this is one thing I noticed last night when I was watching some games. They said that a team had run out of subs. Like, how does that work in this setting?
Well, you only get 15 subs.
Okay.
Or 12. I don't know what the rule is now, to be honest with you. I think it's 15. And if I'm wrong, somebody can correct me later. But you get so many subs, and when you're running a 6-2, you burn 2 of those subs every rotation. So it's when a kid goes around once, that's 4 subs that you end up using.
Okay.
So you can go through them pretty quickly that way. But in a 5-1, you're not subbing the setter out every time. And so you buy yourself a few extra subs.
Gotcha. That was a good kill.
That's the swing. It was away from the libero.
A great job keeping it alive.
And again, away from the libero. I mean, that's huge.
I don't just go off the hands there to tie it back up at 16 apiece. But even though Henderson got the point there, you were saying that they were doing it, keeping it away from the libero. That's what you wanted. It just didn't end the correct way.
Yes. And if it goes to the libero, the first ball or the second ball even, they're in system, and they probably, a good team's going to terminate that when they get an easy pass.
But that one was just more of the luck of the roll there for Henderson. It was a good dig there by their libero. Good block there. I believe that was Church. And Ferguson getting up there for that block. That was a good job.
Henderson's libero has 22 digs, and that's close to 6 a set.
So it's pretty close. You said they're pretty much dig for dig. Castlo only has 3 more, so that's pretty close there. Good point there for Henderson. Oh, point for the Tigers.
Called a net violation on number 7.
The Tigers go up by 2 now.
And that's a call that as a coach, I hated it when it went against us, loved it when it went against us. But it's just one of those
It's just one of those parts of the game.
It's just part of it, and you just go. And again, that's the ball you want to take that a little bit deeper angle. But when she's able to get behind the ball and really get on top of it.
Good job there by Hogan on that dig to react.
Yes. There it is.
Great job by Day. That was a great job by the Tigers, all in all, kind of making something out of almost nothing there. It was not some good passes there, but they really made it out of that. That was an impressive job there by the Tigers.
And then they got that 3-point lead, which they were desperately looking for. But the difference between what they did in the first and even the second set that we won is they're making these plays more consistently. They're not having to kind of rally every time to make it, like they're just being more consistent in what they're doing.
Really starting to come together here.
And I really like, again, the outsides and right sides, because Emily and Carly have both done what they're going to do. Like they're being solid in the middle. But because they've had all the success in the pins, it opened that up. And then when they started getting success, then you've opened up everywhere. Which is when, looking for a name real quick, the setter, Kellen, that's when she dumped that one ball. It's like, because everything else is in place.
So watching this, you can't help but just say that the future is bright for Ouachita when you see all these young players doing such a good job. And you kind of can see some of the upperclassmen, the juniors and the 2 seniors kind of stepping up and leading, having some leadership there.
I mean, Shannon and JJ have both played well tonight. And that's a little bit on the personal side. That's exciting to see.
And I know last year the Tigers lost 2 big leadership positions in Tabitha Huckabee and Katie Camp.
Yes.
Like they were 2, very important leaders on this team. And I can see that from up here. And I knew Katie from home group. And so seeing that, it's good to see that some of the people stepping up to fill those shoes.
Absolutely.
Great job there.
Now this is the point you want to find a way to win.
And Henderson will take that one.
But again, like that's a perfect example. You make a great play, and you got two people on the ground, and you have to free ball it over, and then they run a quick play, and nobody's set where they're supposed to be.
Still a 2-point game. This next point, I believe, would be, I mean, you've been talking, it's a big point to get that 3-point lead once you hit 20.
And it's a mental thing. When you look up and see somebody in 20 and you're still halfway through, that was huge.
And right there's that point. I believe that'd be a service error on Henderson.
And again, and that's the serve you don't want to miss because she's not a super aggressive server, so you just want to make sure you get them in.
Another good block there.
That's
low. That is low and day. Now a 4-point game, 21-17. Tigers closing in, looking to close this one out and getting their second win of the season, the first one here at home. And looking to take the first one away from Henderson and battle the ravine, but that one will go just a little bit too far. Still a 3-point game, though.
Yes.
So 21-18 now. Henderson will be serving. Back to serve for Henderson is going to be number 21, Taylor Scalzi.
It's a good pass. And
another point there. Good kill there by Lowe.
I think she ran into the ref stand or something.
Yeah, she kind of had that look on her face, looking like she might have hit the...
I'm sorry, whatever I just did. I apologize.
But now a 4-point game, 22-18. Tigers trying to close this one out.
And that was a great swing. She goes over the block, and you got your libero and then your left back outside the block. And when you go over the top of it, then that's that hole behind it that you want your block to take care of. But sometimes somebody just out-jumps your hands and...
They still got that 3-point lead, though.
Yes. And the reason it's huge is at this point, it gives you a little wiggle room. If you make a mistake, then you still got a 2-point lead.
And Emily Lowe pick up her 9th kill of the night, making it a 23-19 game.
And what I'm seeing is Kellen, she's doing, or Church. I'm still a first-name person, so I'm learning. Like I learned first names, now I got to learn last ones with it. But they do a great job. She's doing a great job of moving the ball, and she's using all the hitters. Now cover. And by cover, whenever you set, you got to have your defense rotate back around. Again, that's another one of those swings. Like she just hit into a spot where you can't defend it.
So 23-20 now.
And the libero is a good server as well. So if she can ace, then that's. Again, that's the part of it where we're being kind of objective, going like, if she gets the ace, it's huge for them. But she didn't. She had the timid serve.
She hasn't had an ace tonight. That'll be point for the Tigers there. They'll be looking at match point coming up.
And now what I would love to see, a really short serve for an ace, but whatever she serves is perfect.
Can you see who's back there to serve?
It's Lex.
Okay. Castello to serve it. Tigers looking to pick up their first win at home.
Give it to Riley. Come on, Riley.
Good job keeping it alive.
That's a great touch by Riley and Carly.
You got to give credit. That was good.
It was. That was
good job by Henderson
defense.
keeping it alive.
And another great defensive play, because those are good swings by Audrey to good spots of the floor.
Henderson really making Ouachita try to earn this one. And Ouachita will win it. That'll be win number 3, or they'll win set 4 and win this one 3-1 over Henderson. It's a great win. It's always good when you win, but it's always better when you beat the Reddies. So Ouachita wins set 4, 25-20. And takes this one. They'll improve to 2-2. They'll even up their record. Henderson to fall to 1-3. So depending on how UAM does tonight, Ouachita could gain sole possession of 3rd place in the conference. So if UAM loses, but we'll see how that comes out. It'll be a quick turnaround for the Tigers. They've got to go to Harding to play on Thursday, and Harding's one of the best in the conference this year. but you got to enjoy the win for a minute
Oh,
at first.
absolutely. What they did tonight was you saw a team starting to mature. And, again, it's a quick turnaround against a very good teams. And if you're going, I don't know, are they playing here or at Harding?
They're playing at Harding on Thursday.
Okay. So if they're going up to Harding, Harding's a tough gym to play in, and it's a unique gym. Lighting's kind of dim. But if they go up there and they just give the same kind of effort, you're going to see them continue to improve together. And, again, it was exciting because if you look at the stats, each position got kills.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just a 20-kill night by an outside hitter that if you get matched up against the wrong big block, can't do it. It was everybody contributed.
And 7 players total get kills. I mean, Kellen Church, the setter, picks up 3. Everybody else has at least 4. I mean, you've had E.J. Day with 14, which is a big night for her.
Emily hit 333, which, again, when you're doing that, you get excited and go, like, that's what you need to do. You're being efficient with the balls you're getting, and you're getting kills out of it.
But I mean, it's looking up for the Tigers. They're really starting to find like they found this rhythm. I believe they'll probably stick with the 5-1.
Based on just watching this, and again, I get to just kind of sit here and watch this one game. I really think they'll stick with it for a while. And then you, as a coach, you hope your other players, you just buy into what we're trying to do because we are trying to win, but we're trying to do it the right way. So you just hope that the teammates buy into each other and start really selling out. If anything that the past year has taught us as people, we're stronger together. Period.
That's for sure.
And that's why I think sports are kind of a microcosm of life.
Mm-hmm.
When you see the teams that'll stick together, and it's not that they don't have rough spots, but they're together. And if they'll buy in together, then this team can be. And again, it's unique seasons because this is almost like a glorified spring season. These games matter, but they don't matter. This is the building spot where you got freshmen playing and getting a lot of spring ball action that they normally wouldn't be getting. So it can be a huge benefit for them now for the fun part of it, and in the future for where they go.
That's right. Once again, Ouachita wins this one 3-1 over Henderson. Next up will be Thursday as a makeup game at Harding. Next home game will be March 9th here against SAU. It'll be 3 straight home games, and then the final game of the season at Henderson. The next OSDN broadcast for those tuning in will be Thursday. It'll be the final basketball home game of the year here in Bill Vining Arena. It'll be senior night. We'll be celebrating we've got 2 seniors on the women's team, 3 on the men's. It's Eden Crow and Maya Garrettson, 2 outstanding players on the women's team. Really starting to get hot here at the end of the season.
I've played well the last 2 games.
Very well. Eden Crow got Player of the Week this past week for the GAC. Then on the men's side, you've got Katie Smith, Lorenz Nero, and Matt Stanley, who are all outstanding playmakers for the Tigers. But that's going to do it here for us. Once again, Tigers win it 3-1 over Henderson, improved to 2-2 on the season. Like I said, they'll be going to Harding here in 2 days. But like I said, that'll do it for us here at Ouachita Baptist University. I'm Matthew Branch for Danny Prescott and all of us here at OSDN. Thank you for tuning in to the Ouachita Sports Digital Network.